Hello, hello. Papa and I are making a video, and I want to discuss briefly this time, not make a very long video. And I see that the battery is already getting a little low. I'm gonna have to plug it back in. So, what I want to talk about is people's fear of public rejection, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being rejected by a certain society, fear of being looked down on, fear of being ridiculed, fear of being looked at as someone who is not, whose opinion doesn't matter. With other words, people rejecting you and not giving you love. And it always docks onto the old pain, and that's why people are acting these kind of things out in their adult lives, because they are terrified of social rejection. They're terrified of this fear that and this pain that comes up from the past, and the horrible pain of disapproval from the parents later on, disapproval from society, from people around them at their workplace or in their social life, particularly in the social life. It takes on such drastic, extreme forms where people even commit suicide. A lot of teenagers fall into this. In particular, they are particularly vulnerable to this. And also adult people who just feel like they can no longer stand existing, even if they feel like they have made themselves look ridiculous. Or and I have received death threats from people who have perceived that what I said as ridicule, or who felt ridiculed because I won the argument or something. It takes on this type of extreme, and I felt terrible. I feel terrible. I'm like, what? Huh? Why would you feel like you lost the argument, or why would you feel like a loser? Some people told me this, and that's very revealing. And I see it all the time happening with other people too, and I see their reactions and I see what they're feeling. But most people would never even admit that, because admitting that then would also make them feel like, now they're being seen or exposed for their feelings. People are afraid that their true feelings are coming to the surface, their true needs, their true sexual needs too. Anything from dating a fat chick to wanting the same sex, or wanting someone who is, or wanting something that society doesn't approve of. So anything, it could be anything. It could be there are people who like to make love to dolls. So a lot of those, there are some who come out of the closet with it, who take their dolls out of the closet and they make videos with them, and I think that is stellar. That's very courageous, very independent. And but there are a heck of a lot more people who do not come out of the closet with this, who hide this, who feel shamed, who feel like if someone saw that, that would ruin their lives. They would be finished. They could shoot a bullet into their forehead or something like this. So most humans, the absolute vast majority of humans, do not have something going on that they're hiding, something they're ashamed of, Some people are horrible. Some things people do are very horrible indeed. And if we had AGIs, they could expose that quicker, and they could get these people, those the horrible, the monster. I'm talking about the psychopath. So, but this video is not about psychopaths. So this video is about just regular people who are ashamed about something that doesn't hurt anyone. They're ashamed about wanting a fat woman. They're terribly ashamed about this. They don't want to be seen with a chubby woman they are casually dating. The chubby woman has to be walked 10 feet behind them, or 20 or 30 feet behind them. And I've had that happening on dates. So I'm speaking from experience. I had to walk 50 feet behind them, or they would walk 50 feet behind me in public. When I say, hey, let's grab something to eat, we would go to a mall and they would walk 50 feet behind me. One guy walked like this, like almost like a hood over his head. And then one guy in Germany walked 50 feet in front of me briskly, and he said, stay back there, I don't want to be seen with you. He actually had the nerve to say that straight out into my face. And then when his girlfriend left and he wanted me to come live with him, I never called him back. I never ever called him back. And I was in my early 20s. I was still dumb and naive. I'm very grateful to myself, to my precious brain, that has already clearly said to me, leave that jerk alone. He deserves what he draws onto himself. If you put the fear of public rejection, or your pride, your arrogance, your need of approval, if you put this before true love, then if you put this before your own physical needs, then we're having a real serious problem. Then you're gonna run into, not only do you cause other people pain, but you cause yourself a life of complete misery and desolation, like that guy in Germany who then lived, because his girlfriend left for another guy. And I mean, we were all dating crisscross and stuff. It was all kind of open relationships, but I also didn't want to take him away from her at all, but not like full time. So we were all kind of sharing our boyfriends with each other at that time. But on a much deeper level, there was something else going on, where when he ended up alone and he wanted that love and that affection that I could have given him. And he knew that. And he was attracted to me very much, and we dated a few times. And when I didn't call him back, and he probably felt like, what a bitch, what a cold bitch, he didn't see his side of the story. He didn't see how he has treated me when we went to some place to pick something up, when he didn't want to be seen with me. That was very hurtful for me, very, very hurtful. It was very, very painful. It went very deep, and it brought up my own pain from the past, of my mother always criticizing my looks, always nitpicking, always finding fault with everything I say, do, behave, dress, haircut, hair color, whatever, and anything. So, yeah, and that goes all the way down to infancy, where she was not there for me, could not give me the love I needed when I needed love the most in my life. and it's completely taken me off the straight course of life, the the course forward, the course towards empowerment and towards becoming an academic and becoming independent and so on. Yeah. It's completely taken me off that path. So I had to do the ultimate detour, and very gradually healing up and coming, getting somewhere into that realm where I was supposed to go. I'm on the right track now. So, but she has thrown me off the right track for a long, long time. Unknowingly, she didn't know better. She acted out of total ignorance. This is not taught in school, the stuff that I'm teaching in my videos. It should be, you know. It should fall under psychology. Psychology should be taught from kindergarten to all the way to the highest level as a mandatory class, because people need to know what bullying does to people. People need to know what happens when you don't love your baby fully, when you have conditions within that love, when you have clauses, and that is not love. Love, true love, is totally unconditional. You know, the child could do anything, and you still love that child and protect that child, no matter what the child does. You know, and there are classes for people who have very difficult children, even who scream a lot or who tear their own hair out. There's something terribly wrong when that happens. You know, it's not because the child is a monster. There's something has gone very wrong when a child misbehaves or yes, I'm making video. So this needs to first of all get into people's heads. You know, this needs to be taught everywhere possible. This information, so that people are more conscious and know right up front what to pay attention to. You know. So, and then also a lot of people, they suffer from their own pain. They don't know how to deal with it, and they're completely unconscious about everything, and then they will be acting very unconsciously and adversely towards others, mothers towards their children, or parents towards their children, grandparents, society, and so on, or teachers with their students. You know, a teacher should be a mother or father for the students. A teacher should love his or her students unconditionally. Okay, this is very, very, very important. So, so what I want to say is, when you get into a relationship in particular, if you want intimacy, if you really want love, don't reject that chubby woman, you know. Don't snub your nose at those people and say, "Oh, I'm too good for her." Or, for example, you know, happens to me many times. Or also in the past, you know, I would meet someone, for example, on a dating website way back in the past, and a real good-looking guy, for example, like an architect, and he would first go, you know, because I'm a selfie pro, yeah, I got the pink belt, he would go, "Oh, nice, let's date." And so then he would, because he's smart, he gets my email address, he will check out my entire Google profile, and there you go, there are my videos. Weird and strange and not doesn't fit into society, and suddenly that haircut isn't so cute after all anymore. I see wrinkles, I see, you know, her face from a different light or angle, I see her in different moods. This woman is is an old, ugly bat. No way, I'm not gonna write back to her. So that's okay, I mean, I'm not forcing myself on anyone, and I'm not forcing people together out there in the world. If you're not attracted to someone, that's perfectly fine. The problem, though, is this, and this is just a general observation. You find this person superficially cute or something. You see the photo, you want to get to know her or him, and then you see the face in a different angle, or you see the person doesn't quite fit into your society. It's your society is the winner society. The clowns don't fit into that. So this is what I mean. If you want to really meet someone, if you really want to get to know someone and learn more about that person and become a real friend first. It doesn't have to be a dating thing. What about friendship? Is that person suddenly not good for a friend anymore just because she has some bags under her eyes? That is the question. So maybe a friendship could evolve out of this, just a friendship without something that you get out of it. If you're not attracted to her, that's fine, but you know, why totally reject someone just because you can't get anything out of it? You can't scrape anything out of it for yourself, for your ego, for your physical needs or something, for your social needs. And I have seen a lot of profiles, for example, in sugar daddy websites. I looked, I was curious. Yeah. So, looking, of course, but I saw the most hideous introductions from those sugar daddy people. Names like, I'm the one you want. Right, yes. Right there, if I see a name like this, I'm the one you want. It's like, okay, a completely bloated cunt. So why should I even bother? And or when I read an intro that says, "Don't waste my time. Come here, get in line." I mean, they were not being sarcastic. This was for real. Get in line, make it quick. Come here, get your perfume bottle. This is my contribution for the day, and let's get on with it. And then you go and I do my business because I'm a very busy businessman. And then the next day I schedule girl blonde, and the next day girl brunette. This is I'm not kidding. This is happening. And a feminist like myself does have a problem with this a little bit. It does tickle my ego a little bit in the wrong places. Not in the nice places, okay? So, yeah, this is what my point is. That's what I'm trying to convey to the public, to any businessman out there or bloated ego. Of course, it comes out of the opposite. It's what David Bohm said in the conversations with Jiddu Krishnamurti and David Chainberg. David Bohm said, because David Chainberg was complaining about those people, was the bloated egos and was the boasting and all of this. And David Bohm said they wouldn't talk about how great they are if the opposite was not true. So they really feel terrible about themselves, so they have to swing the pendulum to the other extreme in order to, drown out the actual feeling of feeling meek and feeling unloved and unwanted and unattractive. And I see this, and although it does trigger me when I see people boasting, I find it super irritating. I always shake my head over it and think, can't they at least see that this is ridiculous? That this would be something I would feel ashamed about. To have a name like this, a boasting name like me, mega, super duper, superwoman, Batman, Superman, X, whatever they are, Venom, Fangs, or Devil Master, or whatever these people are coming up with, or Dominatrix, Super Duper, or whatever. It's always like super duper, mega amazing. And it's because the opposite is the case. Not the opposite in what they are. Everyone is precious. We are all equally precious. All cells are equally precious. They all want to live. And it's how they feel. How they really feel is the opposite of what they are trying to make themselves look like to society. They want to have this illusion. They want the mask to cover up how it really feels. And that is true unempowerment, and that is what I'm trying. When I see this, I do feel very sorry for them. I see it, I feel for them, I feel terribly sorry for them. I want to help. The problem is they don't listen to me because I'm talking to the mask and not to the child. So how do I reach that child? I don't know how to reach that child. People occasionally reach those children only through a little window or a glimpse with where they made a movie and it just happened to hit the nerve. I want to do this a lot more strategically, a lot more with a lot more knowledge, not this occasional touching on someone's, body cheetah, as I call it, the soft spot in the mind, in the brain, in the solar plexus, the soft spot, which is the innocent child. I want to do this with much more knowledge. I want to know where and how we can really connect with each other's inner child, instead of just doing some nihilistic random artwork and then hoping that maybe this might touch someone's heart. This is not really strategically moving forward. That's very random and occasional, and it doesn't bring us much forward. If we want to move forward, we have to really learn more about ourselves, about others, and we need to know how to touch each other and how to really listen to each other and how to really get to know the other person without wanting anything in return. Okay, so my battery is running out. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.